Dr. Danny Kessler, an associate professor at Dongseo University, has spent years studying wellness tourism and global innovation. Through his work, a clear pattern emerged defining why some ideas scale worldwide while others never survive the classroom. The most common fatal trap creators fall into when attempting to build for a global market is simply waiting for a perfect idea to strike before they begin. A perfect idea locked inside a creator's head is practically useless. It cannot be tested, it cannot be critiqued, and solves zero real-world problems. This visual establishes a core rule of innovation. Action creates clarity. A highly flawed, weak first draft that you can actually look at and improve is mathematically superior to a perfect concept that you never start. Hoarding an idea to protect it from criticism guarantees failure. To survive, you must abandon perfectionism and rely on a mechanized system for rapid, continuous improvement. This diagnostic comparison matrix tracks the behavioral economics of two models. On the left, the perfectionist experiences immense initial friction. On the right, the iteration engine intentionally keeps starting friction low. Because the perfectionist avoids a continuous feedback loop, their final output is always a fragile, untested version 1. The iterative system forces the idea through continuous cycles, yielding a battle-tested version 4. We can track the mathematical viability of both models over time using this cognitive friction graph. Notice the far right of the timeline. The perfectionist waits until the absolute last minute to test their idea against reality, creating an erratic, high-risk spike right at the deadline. The iterative model, however, secures mathematical safety. By climbing predictable step-by-step plateaus, each new version locks in an incremental improvement. This leads to a harsh truth. Mathematically, average ideas will consistently defeat brilliant ones, simply because they are processed through faster, safer iteration cycles. To run this engine, you first need raw material. That material comes from identifying a spark, a genuine, visible point of friction in the real world. We are looking for exact human struggles. This means identifying the chronic stress of office workers, the isolation of urban loneliness, or the physical toll of widespread poor posture. You do not start with a global theory. You start in a highly localized environment, like this busy street in Busan, observing exactly how people navigate their day. Viable innovation requires observation. It is entirely dependent on targeting visible, localized human suffering. Once you capture that local spark, the traditional process of manual human review is too slow. The development phase has to be artificially accelerated. This diagram illustrates the AI acceleration pipeline. We use artificial intelligence as a systemic tool to provide instant, aggressive early feedback. By pushing the raw idea through structured AI prompting, a weak theoretical concept is rapidly converted into tangible, visible storyboards. Visibility equals understanding. An idea only becomes actionable, and it can only be properly critiqued the moment you can actually look at it. This map outlines the massive economic scale of the global wellness industry, currently valued at $6.8 trillion. A hyper-local solution built in Korea can scale immediately into these tech sectors. For the highest-performing projects, the final destination is a stage in Phuket, Thailand, presenting directly to international investors. This mapping shows the exact structural pathway bridging that initial local observation in Busan directly to the global summit in Phuket. International investors do not buy fragile, untested concepts. They only allocate capital to battle-tested, highly iterated systems. This 3D funnel identifies a final psychological trap. Most creators push through initial friction, but burn out and stop at version 3. Global standards are unforgiving. To be viable on that stage, a project must survive to version 4 or higher. This radar chart breaks down the exact requirements of a version 4 project. It must pass rigorous evaluation across innovation, design, relevance, business viability, and presentation quality. The mandate for survival is simple. Build rapidly, iterate relentlessly, until the concept is undeniable, and remember to enjoy the process.